News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Suing for $750,000? Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. Congratulations, you made it. It's Friday, September 18th, 2015. Pretty nice weekend stretches before us as well. Right now it's cloudy at 45 degrees in Missoula. Our newscast this morning sponsored by Missoula Nissan Hyundai. Drive what you want affordably. Stop by Hyundai and find out more about America's best warranty, located on Brooks near Southgate Mall. After Missoula County Sheriff T.J. McDermott was found to have discriminated against political rival Josh Clark by the Montana Human Rights Bureau, Clark's attorney Quentin Rhodes, appearing on Talkback yesterday, has announced the amount of money his client is requesting to satisfy what they argue was an illegal demotion.
When a person of the seniority of Josh Clark loses his job, it costs money. And there are two aspects of that. He was going to work for another 5 years and then retire. And the first aspect is the money that he would have been paid over that 5-year period, which amounts to something like $350,000.
Clark left the sheriff's office after his demotion from undersheriff to a member of the night patrol. Rhodes says Clark will also ask to be compensated for the lack of retirement income he would have received if he had stayed on the force.
He would have retired at a much higher rate at the end of that 5-year period. And so the difference between what he is retiring for now and what he would have retired for at that time, if you add that up and reduce it to net present value over what you would expect his lifespan to be, about 75 years, you're looking at about $750,000. So that's what we're suing for.
Clark's attorneys say their client suffered severe stress after the recent election, that he felt unsafe in the workplace. They claim he was put on night patrol without proper equipment, including a lack of a weapon and proper safety gear. A quarantine has been issued in Missoula County after a rabid skunk bite was reported near Harper's Bridge in Missoula. Montana Assistant State Veterinarian Tani Zemansky says the county hasn't had a case like this in almost 20 years.
On Monday, we had a skunk test positive for rabies at our diagnostic lab down in Bozeman. This is a little bit of an unusual case. We don't commonly see terrestrial or non-bat rabies on the west side of the Continental Divide. So a positive skunk in Missoula County got everybody's attention.
The quarantine will last for 60 days, and experts hope this is an isolated case. Now, during the next 60 days, only a few animals can be transported out of the county.
The only animals that are eligible to leave the county while the county is under quarantine are dogs and cats that are currently vaccinated. And currently vaccinated means either, they've already gone through their initial series and their booster, and it's current, or they've received their first dose of vaccine and 28 days has elapsed.
An investigation is currently underway in the area near West Missoula where the bite occurred. Szymanski says experts are hoping the skunk had the same type of rabies found in bats and are worried it might be a new or different strain. A Stevensville woman serving a 40-year prison term for the hit-and-run death of a pedestrian is asking a judge to allow her to present new evidence. It says she proves her innocence. The Montana Innocence Project has taken up Katie Garding's case. The organization hired engineers to reconstruct the 2008 crash that killed Bronson Parsons in East Missoula. 29-year-old Ceylon Elgin Taylor was arrested late Wednesday night and charged with felony aggravated assault, partner or family member assault, and parole violation. He was arrested after hiding in a utility room inside his ex-girlfriend's apartment. Police spokesman Travis Welsh said the incident began when a neighbor contacted police about a disturbance next door.
The officers responded and made contact with a female at the front door who invited them into the residence, articulated that there had been a disturbance and that she had been assaulted. She identified her attacker as an ex-boyfriend and indicated that he was hiding in the apartment.
Welsh said Elgin Taylor resisted arrest and was eventually taken into custody.
The man has been arrested for aggravated assault, partner or family member assault, obstructing a peace officer, and resisting arrest. He was also on probation at the time, and so there is also an added probation violation, and he had other warrants not related to the disturbance.
Deputy Missoula County Attorney Jason Marks told KGVO News Elgin Taylor, a former UM and semi-pro athlete, is being held in the Missoula County Jail without bond until he appears in Justice Court this afternoon. A 37-year-old Polson man has pleaded guilty to mitigated deliberate homicide for killing his father-in-law by hitting him in the head with a hammer. Kerr A.M. and Jeff Smith reports Thursday's plea is the second time Desmond McKay pleaded guilty to mistakenly hitting 67-year-old John Barrows in March of 2014, causing fatal injuries. Let's Move Missoula coordinator Lisa Bisewicz was in Washington, D.C. yesterday, make that Wednesday, learning how to build healthier communities throughout the nation. She joined a very notable public figure at the White House, along with other representatives, honoring the achievements made by local elected officials participating in the initiative.
We were greeted by the First Lady, Michelle Obama. This is her initiative. It was powerful to hear her talk about how her movement is starting to shift the culture of health in our communities and how it takes an initiative like hers to come to Missoula, Montana, and to start really making the change for affordable and accessible physical activity and nutritional opportunities for our kids and families.
Missoula has worked closely with the school districts in Missoula County to implement brain breaks in the middle schools and high schools, in addition to Take 10 in elementary schools. Bisewicz says these short physical activity breaks throughout the school day result in more engaged learning for the students.
There were 5 goals with the first level of becoming a Let's Move city, and Missoula has accomplished meeting all of the 5 goals, and so we're a gold city, we're an all-star city. So a lot of this initiative is to make sure that we have policies and procedures in place so that all Missoula citizens have access to choices for good physical activity and nutritional opportunities.
To date, approximately 80 million Americans live in a city, town, or participating in Let's Move activities. A man caught in bed naked from the waist down with a 7-year-old girl has been sentenced to 5 years with the Department of Corrections. The Billings Gazette newspaper reports 22-year-old Delaine Valenzuela Davis was sentenced yesterday for felony attempted sexual assault. He was arrested in 2013 after being found with the girl. Officers say the girl told them she tried to pull up her pants multiple times during the encounter. Public Defender Matthew Klaus said Davis will stay in the pre-release center for sex offender treatment for at least a year. And a man suspected of making online threats to schools and religious leaders is facing one less charge. Flathead County District Judge Heidi Ulbricht on Tuesday dropped a criminal defamation charge against 28-year-old David Lenio. Authorities say the threats were made in February when Lenio engaged in a Twitter exchange with Jonathan Houston, spokesman for the Brady campaign and Center to Prevent Gun Violence. Our News Talk time is 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Low clouds this morning will give way to a mix of sun and clouds today with our high temperatures in the mid-60s. Improving conditions through the weekend as our high temperatures return to the upper 60s and mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.